Hello and welcome back, beautiful soul, to Permission to Follow Your Inner GPS, your inner guided purpose soul path. If this is the first time that you're visiting and viewing or listening with us, you're in for a real treat. Today's featured guest is Wendy Hawthorne, and she serves people who have blocked emotions and traumas that are stopping them from moving forward. Some of the healing modalities include spontaneous transformation technique, crystal Reiki, Usui Reiki, and a home study course in Usui Reiki. It's awesome. So, everybody has their own path within their experiences, and it helps to know what other people have gone through without airing all of our dirty laundry, right? Because we can often feel like we're the only one working through or experiencing this thing. So, beautiful Wendy, thank you so much for being here.
I am so glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
It is our pleasure. Please do share with our visitors. We're working through Mercury, guys, okay? So please share with our viewers and listeners a little bit about you and how you got to where you are.
It seems like another lifetime. I started coming up with quirky symptoms like numbness and dizziness and walking out to my car in the parking lot and rolling around like vertigo. I kept going to see my doctor and they couldn't see anything. So it took about 2 or 3 years for their diagnosis of multiple sclerosis. And the day I heard that probably was about the worst day of my life. I went home. I lived alone. I remember calling my mom, who resided in Texas, and my brother in tears, and I couldn't even speak. I decided that night not to go to sleep because I thought I would die.
Ooh.
Not knowing anything about the illness. But then the doctors worked with me and they said, well, lose some weight, quit smoking, and drop some other bad habits. And then I started learning about vitamins and supplements. And I got to a point where I decided to take myself off the medications they had me on. The more I learned, the more I knew what they had me on wasn't going to work, or they didn't know if it would work. And they didn't know much about side effects. And in about 2006, my health had stabilized, but I decided to start learning. I'm a lifelong learner. I took in-person courses in Reiki 1 through 3 that Usui, and then they were going to open a wellness clinic so we could heal people who had cancer or pain, but then that crashed. Someone on the board of directors at the hospital where we learned at a women's center decided it was voodoo.
Oh my.
And I truly didn't understand that, but I thought, that's their decision. So I kind of parked using Reiki, except, a family member or friend and myself. And then I found other things like crystal Reiki, color therapy Reiki, spontaneous transformation technique. And everything I could find, I knew I could help myself. My goal was to help people unblock emotions that I think at times people have emotions stored from traumas they've gone through, like an old-fashioned card catalog. They stack it up in their spine, they stack it up in their hips, in their chest, in their third eye, or wherever in their body. And it gets to a point where the universe and the angels are giving them hints. And then all of a sudden, I believe that health conditions maybe start to develop. And then maybe those start stacking up because they have something else. And it's all from the emotions they are carrying and haven't learned how to let go of.
I totally agree with you, because it's called disease, but it's also dis-ease, and our bodies are magnets, fortunately or unfortunately, depending upon the circumstances. And because our bodies store it, or someone who is unaware of what's happening or could be happening, and they don't know how to clear out or don't practice it often enough, then it becomes stagnant. And like you said, a card catalog.
Yes.
And it just bounces or adds on top of each other.
I know people, I have nothing against conventional or traditional medicine. I think that's all part of it. But I think sometimes people go see their doctor and they give them medication, prescription, and then they have symptoms and they go back and they get something else. But I think, I know everyone's not going to buy that emotions that are stored or blocking yourself causes disease. And I'm not knocking traditional medicine, but I think there's a way to learn how they can coexist with each other.
Agreed.
And heal people.
Yes, I totally agree. There are, Western medicine, or traditional conventional medicine as we understand it, in order to help unlock the energy piece of it, sometimes you get to start with the conscious mind, because if the conscious mind is so locked in, this is my understanding of things, if it's so locked in to the dis-ease, then the other parts that we work with Reiki, crystals, angels, whatever energy, has less of an opportunity to really impact on the lower cause levels, because the conscious mind has not yet been taken care of. Does that?
Yes, I believe that also. I remember having a doctor or two who saw me regaining my health, and they said, I don't know what you're doing. So I kind of laughed and looked at each of these physicians and said, I do know that you know what I'm doing, because I have told you all along Reiki or vitamin supplements, and I'm getting benefits. And as you recall, I did back off the medications you had me on with your knowledge, maybe not your permission, but I kept them informed. But they kept saying, just keep doing what you're doing. I said, you got it. I'll keep doing what I'm doing.
You do. And before anyone gets any ideas, we are neither one of us saying stop your medication.
Oh no.
And I'm not hearing that from Wendy. I'm just saying it clearly. Start where you need to start, and then add some of these other healing modalities, and your body will let you know when it's time to wean off XYZ 1, 2, 3, yellow, pink, or green, right?
You know what? And I always believed that if I was coming off a medication, I'm going to let my physician know this is what I need to do, because I wouldn't necessarily know about harmful side effects. There are some things that you cannot just stop, because that could cause
exactly
worse problems. But I always figure, just let them know, and this is what I want to do, and here's why. They're not necessarily going to agree with me. I'm not saying I'm better at medicine than you. I just know what I need for me. So let's tailor it to me.
So what were some of the challenges, or what were some of the challenges that you worked with in not just the learning piece, but how to, okay, one at a time, guys. I can only ask one kind of a question at a time. So if you would share just even one challenge about integrating your new learnings as you started all of these like the Reiki and the crystal Reiki, the supplements, what did you experience and how did you know what parts to do next, beautiful?
When I hit a point where my health declined, and I had to take a leave of absence from the bill-paying job, lost the man I loved. I gave up the house I was renting, and I went to stay with my mom for a year. So I was pretty low when I got there, but I remember my mind told me to start walking. And the first time I started walking, because I had a lot of muscle stiffness and aches and pains and such, I prayed, please get me home, please get me home, please, Lord, please, and angels, please get me home. And then I started walking a little bit every day. I got up to walking 45 minutes twice a day, because to me, it made sense just to keep exercising. I found a health food store nearby, and I met so many great people. They advised me on different supplements, different modalities. I decided I don't necessarily have to learn all the modalities, but then I would go to Barnes and Noble bookstore and read all I could about them, because I thought, to find my next steps, the way I learn, I need knowledge. I don't just say, I need to work on modality A, B, C, and D today, and I want to know I know it all. It needs to feel right for me.
Mm-hmm. I totally get that. It's all about the energy.
Yes.
No matter what you do in the guidance, if your energy isn't clear enough, if your conscious mind isn't clear enough, then you're not going to be able to tap into that stream of energy that helps you connect with the guidance and the messages. And we still get to decide.
Yes.
So I was working with a client earlier to just, well, the guidance, and I said, well, I'm just going to leave it all up to the angels. I said, well, kind of can't do that. You've got to do your part, because if you just say, well, it's all up to you, then you're kind of giving over your responsibility or your own decisions to something else, even though it's not a physical person. So, you probably do know this, but I'm going to say it out loud for everyone who's watching or listening at some point. The guidance for Wendy to go walking did more than just help her with her muscles. It helped her move the energy.
Yes. I met a massage therapist. He also was an assistant lay minister at a church. At the time, I was so down. I was so far removed from my religion, from my spirituality. And through Rufus, the man and the massage therapist, and who became a great friend, I integrated attending. He helped me reunite with the angels, with the Lord, with God, because you get to a point, why me? Why is this happening?
Mm-hmm.
Anger sets in, and it just brought me full circle. I don't care if people call it higher power, Gaia, Allah, whoever they use for their guidance. I believe it's all the same, and it accomplishes what you need to do, directing you on your path.
How did you start to get out of that why me mindset and energy to back up, starting back up and on your path?
I started walking. I got up to 45 minutes
right,
twice a day. I was using supplements, but I was very careful because, of course, money at the time was very low, being on short-term, then long-term disability. Doing a lot of research, meeting people, attending the church services, doing a lot of reading, meeting people, just interacting. I became more back to my true self. I got to know myself.
So how did you start? Okay, so which is interesting, y'all, because Wendy found her path by interacting rather than pulling or staying in that shadow area of her life. She started getting out. How did you then start to decide or realize that this was part of your path, was to help others?
It took me a long time to know that. I got to a point and decided I know I can learn things to help others heal themselves, or I'm not actually healing someone, I'm a conduit.
Yes.
I asked for permission to direct energy or guidance or what is needed, but they're actually doing the healing.
Yes, as much as they will allow. There was a woman years ago who came for a treatment, and my sense was she got so much that she decided it was not in her best interest to heal. Because sometimes, and I learned this through someone else, sometimes the benefits of staying ill far outweigh the benefits for being healthy.
That is so true, because they can be waited on, they can be catered to. I'm not saying people that are ill or not feeling well. I believe in doing the best you can do with what you have.
Yes. And
I,
there
I,
are some who choose not to complete the healing. And that's what we're talking about. So please, no nasty letters or messages to either Wendy or me, because we're speaking in generalities, and this is not about being offensive or, in anyone's face, because there are some beautiful souls who choose to remain in that space of dis-ease. Wendy's not one of them, and that's why we're sharing her story today, her journey. So
I
how
know,
was it you, go ahead, beautiful.
it's just that I came back in full circle to being me, and I knew if I could help just one person or many more, that's what I needed to be doing.
Good. And having been there and working with whatever is still for you to work with, helps others to know that it's not just possible, but it's doable because you have been there and you did it.
And someone else might have other emotional blocks, might have other diseases, or
Mm-hmm.
even emotional blocks. But I believe everything you need to heal yourself, you learned so long ago, and we have just forgotten.
Yes, I totally agree with that. We're not anymore, quote unquote, cancel, 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 because we're relearning, we're reconnecting. And in general, most of us have been untaught what we came in with, what we know to be innate or a natural part of us, because it has been removed in one form or another through the generations. Is that fair?
Yes, I believe that. But you'll relearn it, or know that you knew it, and know what you need to do when you need to do it. I believe everything isn't poured into your hands, into your mind all at once, but when you need it, it will be there.
I agree, because now in human form, it seems like we're only able to process in chunks, because too much in it frazzles everything. It frazzles everything.
Uh,
How do you like to work with your clients? What's your favorite way to do that?
I'm for the spontaneous transformation technique, that would be on the phone or by Skype. I prefer not to do the video, but if they want to, that's fine. With Reiki, I prefer distant healing, because even a group, I think you can accomplish more in a group than one person at a time, but one person at a time also is fine.
Okay, so what are some of the results that your clients have experienced, beautiful?
I worked with a gentleman who lives out west. diabetes. He was to have a foot amputated, and I am not taking credit, but they're watching it for a year. And to me, that is so much more better than losing a foot to the illness.
So can you elaborate a little bit? Did his circulation improve with the healing techniques that you are a conduit for?
You know, I didn't. I worked more with his wife.
Okay.
He did give his permission, but I would send the distant energy healings to him. It just worked out better that way, and his wife would indicate how he was doing. I tried not to. I didn't follow him as closely as I would have liked to, but I just thought at the time it was better just to step back, and if he needed something, his wife, a good friend of mine, would let me know.
Can you give us another example of someone else?
I worked with a woman living in South Africa who was blocked by the ravages of apartheid.
Okay.
And it was holding her back. She just relived the devastation of what she went through. Did a couple sessions of the spontaneous transformation technique, and she just started thriving and enjoying life.
Good.
Even just interacting with her, we did a couple Skype calls, not on video, but and from time to time she checks back in, and she's doing wonderfully.
That's awesome. I really love that what you experienced. I don't love that you experienced it. I'd take, erase that. I love that because you experienced this dis-ease, you learned what it is you needed to do for yourself. And I'm aware that you're still practicing so that it stays at your health level and continues to increase.
Yes.
And then you've been able to help others. And it's not just about MS, it's the emotions that have been trapped in the body, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So it's amazing that you're able to, not surprising, but amazing in such a way that you were able to get yourself out of the way to help you and others.
And the STT, the spontaneous transformation technique, it's a playful way to you don't have to relive the emotions or traumas you went through. And it's a very quick 10 to 15 minutes. I'm not saying that it's the cure-all, because sometimes people will have layers that they have wound around like an onion.
Yes. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers and listeners, beautiful?
I can't wait until I can quit my bill-paying job and make this my full-time mission, because to me it's so important to help others any way I can.
I will help hold that vision for and with you.
Thank you.
Because you're absolutely right. This is where you are ultimately meant to be. And I see you walking that path with more grace, more abundance, and prosperity.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. That just came through for you. How cool is that?
Wonderful.
Would you please tell our viewers, beautiful, how they can find you?
On Facebook, my business page is Reiki Sensations. You go through, just search for Reiki Sensations. That's REIKI Sensations. My website is Wendys with no apostrophe -, Reiki sensations.b12sites.com /index. Long one.
Okay.
I do have the website listed on the Facebook page.
That might be the easiest, because that one is quite long and involved. So it's Reiki Sensations on Facebook, ladies
That
and
is
gentlemen.
correct. That is correct.
Reiki Sensations, Reiki, and the word sensations, Sensations.
Perfect.
Reiki Sensations, and this is beautiful Wendy Hawthorne. Thank you so much for taking the time and being open to sharing part of your journey with us.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, beautiful. And you, beautiful soul, please pop by angeldreamteam.com and get your copy of Angels, Success, and Prosperity. Become a mover and shaker of your reality. And until next time, follow your heart, get out of your own way, and tap into your inner GPS. Bye-bye for now, beautiful soul.